Drip irrigation is going on all of the garden beds now, and it makes me so happy. We have had no rain in about 2 weeks, and there's none forecasted for probably at least the next week. As my garden is getting watered by this drip irrigation, I'm going to prune my tomatoes. Now, there are a lot of schools of thought on pruning tomatoes, but this is a pruning job that everybody should do with their tomatoes, regardless if you believe in leaving the suckers or pulling them off. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I hope you can see what I'm talking about right here. These tomatoes plants are very low to the ground, and even though they are short at the moment, they will grow tall. And I do have the drip irrigation, so there's not a whole lot of splashing of water going on. But these lower leaves are very susceptible for catching any type of disease that might be in my bed. Tomatoes are susceptible from different kind of blights and fungal diseases. So what I want to do is, I want to kind of get down close and personal here. So what you want to do is take off these lower leaves. I don't really have any suckers on my plants yet, but the lower leaves can be a real bother at this time. So I'm going to trim off at least 6 inches above the ground level. Once I do this to all of my tomato plants, I'm going to be ready to mulch this after the soil gets its thorough soaking. So I have 50 tomato plants to go. Also, cutting these lower leaves off of these newly planted pepper plants helps with a condition called transpiration. Transpiration is the loss of moisture from the stomata, which are on the back of these. There's small openings on the back of the leaves, and the plant loses a lot of moisture that way. So in newly planted plants, then cutting these off will help reduce that loss of water from the plant, especially when it's trying to acclimate itself to your soil. You can see here there are shoots that are already growing from where the axis of that leaf was. So this plant is fine, and by pruning those lower leaves off, you also stop the disease from splashing up onto the plants, and you stop the excessive loss of moisture from the plant. Wow, what a day. I've gotten all of this, the drip irrigation, in all of my beds in line with all of my plants. I think I might need one more right here because I have some carrots planted. But it was a lot of work. Everything is watered in very well, and then with a top dressing of straw, which is my mulch of choice here. Over there, the onions here have already had straw on them since they were little. Just putting them in. They don't like a weed pressure. I don't have any straw here in my potato bed, which is because they have to be healed up again. Probably in, within the next week, I will heal them up when I find time to do it. Garlic off in the distance, if you see that right there, those are doing so well. My beds off in the distance here also have been watered well and with straw. Okay, little recap here. Prune your tomatoes early. Cut those bottom leaves off, probably to start 6 to 8 inches above ground level. It will reduce the chance of your plants picking up a disease from your soil. Fungal disease, bacterial disease, viral disease, anything that lives in your soil that you don't know about. Both on the tomatoes and on the peppers, like I showed you. And another reason would be to reduce transpiration, and the plant will then lose more moisture than it needs to, especially at a young age and when you're just transplanting them out in the garden. So, watering tips. Drip irrigation, my preference now that I've put it in. It took me a while. I used to hand water, took me hours. But if you don't have the means to put in a drip irrigation system, water at the base of the plant. You don't want to splash the water on the leaves because that also promotes more disease. Reduce any overhead watering, if at all possible. Sprinklers, the fan sprinklers and the all those different kinds of sprinklers. Time savers, but it's not good for the plant. And you also have more evaporation of your water, so your water is really kind of going to waste. It's spread all over your garden in places that it probably is not needed. So direct watering on each individual plant is the best way to go. Now, if you don't have any choice but to do that, water in the morning. Overhead watering leaves spots on the plant. Those little spots, droplets of water, act as magnifiers in the hot sun and cause little burn spots on your leaves. So water in the morning, so it gives time for all of that to evaporate off of the leaves of your plants. So after I deep watered, I mulched, as I showed you, and I used straw, and that is helping me retain moisture in the soil so I don't have to water every day. But you keep your eye on the weather, and Mother Nature has the best source of moisture for your plants that you can ever do yourself. So my garden is off to a good start. I have yet to plant my sweet potatoes. I think it's warm enough. It's been in the 70s, hit 80, I think yesterday, might hit 80 again today. So everything is warmed up and the sweet potatoes are more than ready to go into the garden. Thanks for following along with me on this video. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe and share. Click that notification bell and you will be notified when I upload that next video, which is more than likely on sweet potatoes. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.